What up, world? K to the Z is back. If you don't know who it is, it's me, Kaizen18. Just doing a random little driving blog. Random fact number 1. So, let's start off with, what the hell is Kaizen, man? Well, Kaizen is a Japanese word. It means gradually improving. Or that's what my volleyball coach told me. See, I was part of a team called Team Kaizen, and we were team gradually improving. That's the whole premise. And 18 was my jersey number, so if you're wondering what Kaizen 18 is, that's where it originated from. In fact, number 2, weird news. I saw this in the newspaper. It was on Sunday. Local news, by the way. It's not your Paris Hilton type news, which he mentioned Guam on his blog, I believe, about Ralphie May bringing in marijuana to the island. I mean, they could probably just have bought it here, but not that I know where it's at or anything. I'm just saying, I've heard that people can buy certain paraphernalia. You can find it anywhere. Go to any back alley, you can find anything. It sounds familiar. Anyway, so yeah, Ralphie May got busted, half an ounce or something like that. That's what I read. I really like Ralphie May. He's really funny. I'm drifting away from the subject. Okay, the news found out through Facebook because people were posting the article. Apparently, this man, he's like in his 40s, comes home late one night, and I guess his wife or girlfriend or mistress or whatever, she's upset about something. And they either get into an argument or whatever, and well, one thing led to another, and she throws some lumpia at her. Lumpia. If you don't know what lumpia is, it's a food. It's basically like wrapped in a flour type wrapper, and it could be either fried or not fried. I mean, that's weird in its own that they mention it in the newspaper about a guy that gets thrown lumpia. The lady gets charged with aggravated assault. But that's not the really weird part of the article. The weird part is that the last sentence, the last thing it says is, they don't know what kind of lumpia it was. Do you really need to point that out? I mean, oh my god. It was a beef lumpia, and he was a vegan. Hate crime. Or it wasn't fried, or it was still rock hard out of the freezer. And suspects have been brought into custody with the burrito, the taquito, the quesadilla. Anything wrapped has been brought into questioning. It's a really random news. It's like pointless news. Do you really need to mention it was a lumpia that was thrown? I mean, do you really need to know what kind of lumpia it was? Maybe he's allergic to it, and she knew that, and that's why she was throwing at it. But man, come on, it's just lumpia. I feel sorry for the guy, calling that in. I mean, unless he's been suffering from constant lumpia abuse. But, well, this day and age, I mean, he might as well just sue her for stress or something. If it was spam, oh man, things would have just gone too far. You mess with a guy's spam, you're asking for divorce. Random fact number 3. I live in this island, it's called Guam. It's spelled G-U-A-M. Guam. Well, you can pronounce it any way you want, but it's pronounced Guam. Or like the locals like to pronounce it, Guahan. U.S. territory. It's located way, way to the left of Hawaii, and to the right of the Philippines, above Australia, a little to the, this way of Japan. It's a hub. U.S. military strategic point for back in the World War II and so on. A U.S. base per se, and that's why if you haven't heard the news about the military in Okinawa, the Marines, they're getting shipped here in the future. And they're gonna do a lot of things to this island. They're gonna make aircraft carrier support. They really have like submarine support and aircraft field and whatever. Yeah, and this island is gonna be jam-packed full of people, I tell you. They're almost like Hawaii, except a little bit hotter. I've been to Hawaii, and you know, sometimes it can get pretty cold over there. Here it's, you know, it's pretty hot throughout the day. You know, except for when it gets nighttime. It's the same sort of stuff as Hawaii, like restaurants and shopping and vehicles, and you know, we don't live in grass huts and wear grass skirts. I mean, I'm in a car right now, you know, or is it just a Carabao driven cart? This is my home. I've been here for pretty much all my life. I've been outside of the island, you know. I've been to the States and whatnot. I mean, I really like it there. It's nice. Here, you know, everything's sort of like slower, and your drive, I mean, people here complain about a drive that's maybe 15 miles long, complaining it's too far, whereas 15 miles in the States is like, that's like a breeze, right? It's like no big deal. Just ask people to come, you know, if you want to hang out, come to my house. They'll be like, oh man, it's too far. But it's only like a 10-minute, 20-minute drive. That's the problem here. The scale is just a bit different. People will make hour drives just to hang out at people's houses in the States. Not here, 30 minutes. If it's more than 20 minutes, I'm gonna stay home. It's not worth my time. Fact number 4. Did you know that this island used to be a good place to go drinking? Because the age limit was 18 at the time, back then. Only recently did they raise the age to 21. Really funny how things have just changed the way everyone does things around here. Used to be like everyone would be down to go out, you know, go partying, and you know, after work, let's just go someplace and drink. Now it's kind of harder now because they raised the age, yes, but they also shortened the time of operation that a bar and club can be open. It used to be, you could just used to party until 4 in the morning and then go eat somewhere, and then the sun would be coming up. And that'd be just a typical night. Whereas now, it closes like 2 hours earlier, and so nobody really wants to start partying at 10 anymore. And so people are just not down to go out anymore. They'd rather just stay home or hang out, or, you know. I mean, that's probably really hurting some businesses out there that really depend on the sale and consumption of alcohol and entrance fees. I mean, practically all my friends and coworkers, they don't go out anymore unless it's something special, like somebody's birthday, or, you know, if there's nothing else to do. But until then, people are just, nah, I'm gonna go home or do homework. The homework? People are actually doing homework nowadays. Can you believe it? Back in my day, homework was 2 hours before you had to wake up to go to school. That was homework for me. Life has just been changing, revolving around that law, and it's making the roads a bit safer. I mean, for sure, but it's just making life on the island a bit more boring. But Chuck E. Cheese's is coming to Guam, so hey, Chuck E. Cheese's. But I heard there's a law or there's a rule that says you can't come in unless you have a child with you. Hey, little boy, you want to make 50 cents? Come with me. Come with me if you want to play. That's a stupid law or rule. You cannot come in unless you have a child with you. Sure, it's a child-oriented place, but you know, you want to make money, you gotta accept all comers. I mean, not all comers. I mean, there's a certain people that you don't want to bring into your establishment that may dirty the place up because of their lack of hygiene. Random fact number 5. Yes, I do work at a Cold Stone Creamery, and yes, I've been working there for a long time. Some people ask me, why don't I go somewhere else? Somewhere where I can use my degree. Yes, I graduated college. Degree for a better purpose. And the fact of the matter is that I make good money for what I do. You know, if you're in a job that's basically, it's fun and you know everything, the ins and outs of the job, and it makes, you know, your job a whole lot easier if you know what to do and you're not constantly under pressure to perform or you have to make your TPS reports, or you have to report to Lumberg. That's a reference to Office Space, by the way. So yeah, I mean, my job doesn't have any of those aspects. People where you're just constantly hating your job. You don't want anything to do with your job. Whereas my job, I mean, I know it's an ice cream place, but I do make good money, and my bosses are cool, and my coworkers are all cool. Until I find a job that can meet some of my criteria, which is I can control my schedule. The hours are good enough for me to make a nice paycheck that helps me pay for my bills, my car. Why leave it? Why go somewhere else where you have to start from the bottom again and make just as much as I do now, but you have to work twice as hard to get it? Sure, it may not look cool to your friends that have these prestigious jobs, accountants. They're making a lot more money than me. You look at them, just look at them. They're stressed, complaining about something. The only thing they have on me is that they make more money than me, but they're just not happy. Whereas I'm pretty happy with what I do, because once again, I control my schedule. I am the schedule maker, by the way. And it fits, I can fit what I need to do, which is basically gym, work, hang out, eat, pay for the food, and party. And that's pretty much what you would like out of a job. You don't want a job where you're working 9 to 5 straight days, and then you're just looking for the weekend to happen, and if nothing happens, your week was just wasted. Accountants, nurses, I mean, they make good money, but you have to put in a whole lot of hours, and by the end of your day, you look like crap. Don't lie, you do. You know who you are, and I just don't want that. I mean, I do want money. You're comfortable with your job, and you're making a decent paycheck, and you like who you work with. Why ditch it? There's gonna be times at work something happens and it becomes stressful, but if you could just overcome, if you could just forget about it and just move on, oh, you're good to go, right? Sure. Yeah. There it is. There's 5 random facts. Sorry about the lighting. A cloud just went over the freaking sun, and now it just got dark. You have a good job. It's fun, enjoyable, and you can control your schedule. Stick with it. Milk it for what it's worth. And, you know, if you find something better, that's great. Don't just quit your job and then go searching for something. A good tip is to keep your job, keep doing what you're doing. I learned this from my dad, by the way. Excel in your current job, and if you do find a second job, my dad said that your boss may want to keep you, and they may, you know, compensate for what the other jobs may give you, and they may boost your pay or whatever. If your current employer feels that you are an incredible asset, they're gonna do whatever it takes to keep you. And so so that's my advice for you is, if you're gonna find another job, make sure you keep your job right now and go look for something else. And if they pay well, just, you know, go to your boss and say, hey boss, you know, I found another job, and I either like to keep both, but if not, you know, I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you, but this is what they're... And your boss may be like, oh, so what are they paying you, whatever, and then you just can mention it, say, oh, your boss be like, I'll double it, or your boss be like, okay, you know, I understand, you make good money, so, you know, thanks for working and whatever. So yeah, that's my advice for you kids out there. If you want to get a second job, or you want to get another job, do it the right way. Don't do it in a bad way where you just quit your current job and then your boss becomes a horrible reference. Because businesses out there may call your previous employer and ask how you were, and if you left in a bad note, your previous employer is gonna let your current employer know about it, and you might not get hired. So that's me, K to the Z, Kaizen, signing off. Gotta go to work. No, gotta go to the gym, baby.